Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your host, TB Scouting MMA, and
the Guru back again for UFC Tampa Bay. The UFC finishing off the year once again in the sunny state of Florida. Our own buddy will be in attendance. Very much looking forward to seeing that. These fights take place. You've got Colby Chaos Covington versus Joaquin Buckley, a welterweight main event. Can't wait to get into these fights. But before we have a very special guest in the building. Make sure you're checking out his new website that he's been working on, dfsbythenumbers.com. Make sure you guys are subscribed to his YouTube channel, dfsbythenumbers.com. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at dfsbythenumbers, or dfs_numbers, actually. It's much better. Brady, Big Bad Brady. What's going on, brother? Good to see you.
What's up, guys? It's been a while. Glad to be back on. Looking forward to the last card of the year. And I feel bad. Lou is giving me props in the chat for my beard, and I just shaved it off like an hour ago. So
wow,
that's so funny.
Needed it trimmed. No shave. November's over. So got a nice trim, ready to go. Get into that Florida sun. Maybe see some Latinas, and it should be a fun time.
This guy's looking aerodynamic out here, trying to make sure. Good fuel economy. Listen, if you guys are in the chat right now, do the right thing. Like, this is our last show of the year, 4 years running, Triple C, the Chronic Combat Conglomerate, bringing you Chronic Combat Conversations on a weekly basis. We have a great time. If you guys haven't figured that out by now, we really just love betting on fights, coming weekly, breaking them down, figuring out, like, where the fun's at.
I like to come more than weekly. I don't know about
Lord, but I mean, hey, listen, if you haven't already, please just do the right thing. It costs you nothing. Throw a like on the video. It helps us out so much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Every Thursday, live, 8 p.m. Best bets, best guests, always free picks. And look at this. I mean, we bring you Brady for the last card of the year. I don't think it gets any better. So, I mean, without further ado, are you guys ready? Because we've got Colby Chaos Covington versus Joaquin Numansa Buckley. And oh my Lord, TB's done it again. We've got minus 278 Buckley.
Yeah, what are you doing? What is this?
Yeah, this
was the main one. How can you start off on a botch?
It was pretty bad because I was like, I just started putting the favorite price on the left side, and I was like, oh shit, it's actually on the B side. And then I was like, oh well, I never got back to putting plus 225 on the Colby Covington side. This is where chaos comes into play when TB is left in charge of doing things right. So over 4.5 at minus 154, under 4.5 plus 120. And yes, we are ending 2024 with a bang. The question here is it, given that Buckley's minus 278, are we ending it with a bang? Like, we saw what happened.
Wait a minute. Listen, before you go off the rails here,
what?
we need to ask Brady the $10 million question. Brady, please tell us: is Colby Covington washed? I need you first, bud.
Yeah, I don't think he's washed. I think we need to stop calling guys washed after one bad performance, especially like when they're in their mid-30s. Like, I'll tell you who's washed. Ricky Glenn's washed. Glenn is washed. Like, is Colby washed? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I think we'll find out if he's washed or not. He had one bad performance against Leon Edwards. He supposedly broke his foot in the first 30 seconds. He looked awful. He fought completely dumb, and he didn't really start fighting until like the fourth round. And once he did, he started having success. But is he washed? I'm not ready to call him washed just yet. And I think we need to pump the brakes on calling people washed until we see at least a couple poor performances. Again, especially when they're in their like mid 30s, right? So, I'm not ready to call him washed just yet. Is he declining? Yeah, he's declining. He's 36 years old. He's taken some damage, but I'm not ready to call him completely done.
All right, so I'm ready to break down this fight. So I think Colby Covington is washed. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think compared to Brian Colby Covington, the decline is severe. And I think the lack of athleticism and explosivity from Colby Covington in this fight is going to be a problem. And inversely, when fighting somebody like Joaquin Buckley, who is all athleticism and all explosiveness, I think it's going to be a problem for him. Joaquin is no slouch on the ground per se. And while we haven't seen him controlled like too much, I just don't see Colby doing it. Again, even Colby in his prime, while he was smothering, he also was known for a volume takedowns, which means people are getting up. You're not holding down Joaquin Buckley, not for an extended period of time, and certainly not in the first 3 rounds. And this whole question mark of does he have the cardio to do it? I mean, I feel like this is a guy that's made a lot of improvements. And I mean, when you look at him, how can you be questioning his physical shape? He's going to come in fantastic shape. So he's been training, I'm sure, for 5 rounds. Does that mean he can go berserk and gas out? I'm sure it could, theoretically. I just don't think that he's going to do that. He's going to fight smart. So I'm going to, geez, dog father. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm going to go with Eileen Buckley here, but at this price, there's just no way. I think he pretty cleanly can win the first 2 rounds, and then the next 3 are going to be tough. So I bet fight going the distance at -122, I think. So that's where I'm going here. I just Buckley's not going to sell out for a finish, because if he does, he runs the option of possibly losing the fight. So unless he just clips him, I don't really see it. The Wonder Boy fight, I think, is I bet the fight goes the distance there, so I was definitely salty. But at the same time, Wonder Boy is somebody who relies on his explosiveness and defense and stuff so much more. While his striking defense was always, historically good, it's a much more risky style. Colby, while not having great striking defense, is much safer in that respect. So, I go with Fico in the distance. Usman in his prime took till round 5.
Yeah,
So.
I get it. He also knocked down Colby in round 1 and face planted him in their second matchup early, and that was the older version of Kamaru Usman. If Joaquin Buckley is landing clean and Covington isn't moving as well, then we could see some serious trouble. And if we are talking about the fight going over, then how exactly would you explain Joaquin Buckley winning 3 out of 5 rounds? So the way you're talking about it, I mean, if you're taking fight goes the distance, I'd rather just take -278 on Colby Covington. No, I'm just kidding. +225 on Colby Covington rather than playing a fight goes the distance. I don't see how Buckley wins a decision here. Quite frankly.
That's crazy, and I feel like that's not you're completely discrediting anything that Buckley can do. He can throw at pace. We've seen him throw at pace for 3 rounds. He can also mix up wrestling. So as long as he can extend that,
Nursultan Rozaboyev is a different type of takedown defense than a guy like Colby Covington.
What, is it though?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Rozaboyev loves playing off his back and staying on his back. Colby is going to scramble. He doesn't just give up position.
For how long?
If you're saying Colby's not washed and you're saying the fight goes the distance, I don't know how you could be going towards picking Buckley.
Because I think you're missing a key aspect of the fight.
Yeah, I think Buckley's pace is way lower, actually, and he lands with a lot less accuracy, too.
Well, again, he's kind of...
And the striking differential is better for Colby. The wrestling differential is better. I personally think Buckley finishes him within the first 3 rounds.
All right, Duro, so where's your fucking Colby Chaos ticket?
No, I said I think Buckley finishes him within the first 3 rounds.
Well, that would be nuts.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it would be that crazy. We've seen Colby hurt in a multitude of fights.
It's a home state fight for Colby. I just don't see him going out there and getting...
Yeah, but it's not in Miami. It's in Tampa Bay. They don't care if the guy's in the slums.
That's close. About an hour or so away.
I don't know. I'm going to go Buckley, and I'm going by finish.
I definitely think it's further than that. But I also think that I just don't see it.
Your official pick is Colby Covington by decision.
No, my official pick is Joaquin Buckley 4-5 decision. That's where I lean 100%. Because, I mean, he takes till late round 3 to finish Wonderboy Thompson. He doesn't finish Alex Morono. That's terrible. He takes till round 3 to finish Antonio Arroyo. It's round 2 finishes versus Wright and Kasanganai. It's the split decision versus Al Hassan. He will go the distance here. Colby will fight for his career.
In which case, I would expect you to have a plus 225 Colby.
I'm not on fucking. What is wrong with you? Like, what is
that's
wrong?
just the way.
Are you a fucking idiot? Like he
No,
can land. He
the
can
way
land
that
more.
you're explaining
He
the
can
fight.
land more impactful strikes and win the fucking round. Like, are you stupid?
If he's
Like,
landing those strikes, then Colby's getting hurt in my mind. So we're moving.
But he doesn't mean he doesn't have to die. Like, he doesn't have to get knocked out. He could just be hurt.
I think he
Like,
does. We disagree. We disagree.
But you're saying you don't even see it. Like, it's not possible. Like, that's what's asinine. I can see a world where Colby can win a decision. You saying you can't see Buckley win a decision is fucking ignorant. So it's pissing me off.
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere near a high probability outcome for the fight in my handicap.
So what's the line on Buckley decision? You don't think it's high probability? I'm sure it's his least probable finish, his least probable outcome prop.
Knockout is plus 140, decisions plus 165.
Plus 165.
Yeah, I think it's
plus 180. That's crazy. That's a crazy price because the fight is lined to basically go the distance at minus 120.
Yeah.
So I think you're missing something. Otherwise, you should have the biggest bet of your life on Fight Doesn't Go. Why would you ever pick a side?
Yeah, I mean, because I think Buckley wins by finish. But I feel you. So we'll move on.
Brady, please help us here. Like I'm gonna drive 40 minutes to his house and strangle him.
I know you guys are about to throw down.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Guru's pissed.
Oh no, I
don't know what's happening.
I don't know. I kind of lean more towards Guru here in a sense that I think this fight probably does go the distance. Yeah, I'm going to have some type of bet here on Colby Covington. I don't know if it's going to be the money line. I don't know if it's going to be the decision only, which is plus 148. And I don't know if it's going to be the plus 5.5 point spread because I could see it playing out like Guru thinks, where early on it's the physicality, the size giving Colby some problems early. Maybe he's not able to take him down. Maybe Buckley's able to land some big shots. But I do think as the fight goes on, it is going to heavily favor Colby. I went back and watched the Al-Hassan fight versus Buckley, and quite frankly, I was just shocked at what I saw. And it was up a weight class, but still, Abdulrazak Al-Hassan's taking down nobody, but he took down Buckley 3 times, and Buckley just didn't have an answer. He couldn't get up, and Buckley was looking tired than Abdulrazak Al-Hassan, a guy that's only won by first-round knockouts. So I feel like, yeah, I could kind of see a plan that way. Buckley having some success early, but as the fight goes on, the pace starts to get to Buckley a little bit. These takedowns start coming easier. So I'm kind of looking at maybe like a 5 plus 5.5 point spread on Colby, which means that he really has to win only 2 of the rounds, can still lose the fight.
I hate these judges, bro.
But that's kind of how I'm looking at that. It's plus money, or just the Colby money line in general are kind of the 2 spots I'm looking at. And if Buckley finishes him, it is what it is. But Colby's really tough. He's only got knocked out by Usman in the 5th round, and he wasn't completely out at that point. So I'm on the Colby side here. Maybe he's a washed bum and he gets knocked out, but I think he has all the tools to win this fight, and this line's kind of silly to me.
Do you think he controls him? You think he controls him on the ground, or he's going to control him in the clinch?
I think he can control him on the ground. I mean, Abdulrazak Al-Hassan controlled him.
I don't underestimate how much that the extra 15 pounds matters. And then you're cutting to 185. So what's Al-Hassan walking at? 210, 205? Maybe. He's fucking huge. And he's so explosive in a way that I just don't think that Colby is.
He's not a wrestler. He's kind of a striker.
That's true. 100%.
Wasn't the best look to me, but yeah. But Colby, Colby, he goes for takedown after takedown. Like that's his game. He didn't show that in the Edwards fight, but I'm thinking it might have been because of the broken foot. But we'll see.
I mean, to me, I think him winning round 5 is exactly what you need, Brady, to make your point of, is he washed? No. Like, I don't think he's completely washed. Like, he's not fucking Ricky Glenn. He wins round 5 versus Leon Edwards.
Yeah, but Edwards can't ever fight a full 25 clean. So
no, because he's a chump.
So
yeah,
I don't know. Anyways, we've given this its full breakdown. There's been plenty of discourse. If you want to see the Guru yelling at me, just rewind and we'll move on to the co-main event.
Buckley's made me a ton of money, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't quite understand, but we got Cub Ocean Spray Swanson plus 124 versus Billy the Squid Quarantillo minus 148. We got the lines correct, and it's a double TB nickname extraordinaire. I don't know. This fight's giving me a tough time. I feel like statistically, if we're getting the absolute best version of Cub Swanson, he probably can win the striking exchanges and use his footwork and, stymie the takedown entries of Billy Q. If we're getting the absolute best of Billy Q, well, then he's going to eat all the best shots of Cub and absolutely drown him in round 2 and round 3 with pressure, pace. And then that's when like the sloppy grappling could take over if you can kind of wear down on a guy like Cub. I just don't know which guy we're getting the best of when they're walking out to, on Saturday night. I'm really curious to see which guy comes out on top. But at this juncture, just thinking like, well, what's like the most analogous style matchup that each of the guys have faced? And I could just see this looking like the Gavin Tucker matchup for Billy Q. Even at Billy Q's best, if you're a more accurate striker with quicker footwork and can use a larger size octagon to avoid the pressure style, then you could probably successfully land strikes for, 15 minutes. It's just Tucker also mixes in a bunch of takedowns, and Billy Q is very accepting of said takedowns to try to play off his back. It's just a guy like Cub Swanson, that could be an issue for him. If Billy Q's in the grappling, he probably has the advantage there, and he is a little bit bigger. So, I don't know, it's a tough one, but I lean towards taking the dog shot here on Cub Swanson, and it's probably by decision. I mean, both these guys are tough. This fight's probably going the distance, so the over 2.5 at minus 154. Fight goes the distance, super close to even money. That's where I end up here. I like that, and I like the dog shot, so we could have some fun.
I don't want to kill you, so congratulations.
Wow,
I bet Cub Swanson at plus 130. I bet Cub Swanson here at plus 135. We all know first and foremost that Billy Q is going to lose round 1. Like it's a foregone conclusion. He comes out slow. It's a slow starter. He's going to get hit. It's just how it's going to start. Cub Swanson's going to nail some calf kicks. Should be a really interesting fight. Billy Q, hometown. I believe not only just Florida boy, but I believe Tampa. Yeah, fighting out of Tampa. I guess born in New York, but fighting out of Tampa for the last, most of his pro career. Yeah, I just don't necessarily see Billy, storming back. Like it's just going to be a really tough fight that's going to go the distance, like TB said. I'd imagine it's going to be a split decision because the judges are not fucking watching the fights. I keep saying it week after week, guys. If you don't expect a finish, you better just get ready to be in trouble because the judges are not watching. Yeah, so I like Cub here to get it done. I'm going to take the dog shot on a guy that I'm telling you 2 minutes into this fight, it's going to be flipped to favorite. So,
yeah, that's a guarantee. Brady, what you got here?
Nothing, man. I love this fight first and foremost. I see why they made it the co-main event, but this is one that I'm kind of struggling with because, yeah, Billy Q, he eats punches with his face, and Cub Swanson still at 41 years old does have power. So I think he can land some big shots here on Billy early. But if Billy is able to get that game going, that cardio, that pace, that pressure, that volume, that grappling, we could see him start to take over, maybe even get a late finish down the stretch. So I don't know. I don't have anything on this fight. I'm picking Billy Q, but yeah, I think it's probably a better live bet spot because I agree. I think Cub Swanson's going to win the first round at a very, very high clip. Billy Q loses a lot of first rounds. It takes him a little bit to get going. It takes him getting hit in the head a little bit to start getting his game going. So yeah, I think round 1 Swanson, round 3 Billy, might come up to round 2, kind of seeing it that way. But yeah, it should be a close fight. And nothing really stuck out to me from a prop perspective either. So I'm going to probably sit back and just watch this one.
I'm really thinking I got 2 books here, Fanatics and Hard Rock. We can get plus 100 on Fight Goes the Distance. Like I think I'm about to pull the trigger on at least a unit, if not 2.
Yeah,
I don't see a finish. Cub Swanson's been knocked out, yes, 3 times and 2 recently, but 1 is a Giga kick and 1 is the J-Mark calf kick. Billy Q's not KOing him. What he could do is submit him. Yeah, that would be interesting. But I mean, you could probably get Billy Q sub at a really solid price and hedge with that. I mean, Billy Q sub plus 750.
Rounds 2-3.
Right. And you can take it 2-3, get even a little crazier. Something I might look at on for Brady's show. But yeah, I'm looking at Cub here. And I like Fight Goes the Distance as well as its own separate play. So I think I'm going to do that right now.
So, somebody actually was betting the Quarantillo sub 2-3. It was like plus 2,700 round 2. It's plus 2,200 now, and then round 3 was plus 3,400. It's plus 3,000 now. And if it does finish, I think that's how it does finish. Swanson's been submitted 7 times. Billy Q's slick grappler. If you can get on top, maybe he gets a sub late. But I think if it's going to finish, I think that's kind of how it does.
Yeah. So we'll play Fight Goes a Distance. We'll play Cub Swanson money line, and we'll take Billy Q round 2, round 3 sub for all the glory, just in case. And then if Billy Q round 1, 2, 3 knockout happens, then we just go and cry.
And then we'll take Billy Q money line, and then we'll take Fight Doesn't Go, and then
George Kittle runs free down for a lifetime.
Yeah, George.
No, so yeah, I like it. It's I think we had a good one here. We didn't end up with the guru yelling at me, so we did pretty well, I think. All right, we're moving on. We've got the star boy, Manel Kopp, minus 375 versus Bruno Bulldog Silva, plus 295. Oh, boy. I mean, yeah, okay, Daz, good point. New gloves. I like that. And I think it could be topical for another matchup we're talking about right now. Minus 375 on Manel Kopp. The only way you could possibly play that is if you think Manel Kopp is winning by knockout. But then why would Manel Kopp by knockout be plus 250 in that case with Manel Kopp by decision at minus 105? I mean, Bruno Silva's got some volume, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand why he couldn't potentially win a decision. He's got solid enough striking defense. His accuracy is a little bit lower. So I could see a world where, yeah, Kopp could be landing a few more damaging strikes. But if you're getting a close decision here, I mean, are you really happy knowing that Manel Kopp has thrown up stinker after stinker? I'm not necessarily saying you need to throw the Bruno plus 295, but you need to play the Fight Goes the Distance in my mind. I don't see how it doesn't.
Oh, but you need to throw the Colby, but you don't need to throw the Bruno. We're just making random assertions, whatever. No, I disagree wholeheartedly. Like, Manel Kopp is like, he's AIDS. He's AIDS incarnate. He threw 42 strikes versus Mokaev. What the fuck are you doing? What was that? He
broke his toe in the round 1.
Use your hands.
Yeah, but you know.
What are you talking about? He broke his toe. My foot was a balloon.
That was Colby's excuse for looking shitty against Leon Edwards, right? So.
No, listen, I think Kopp can definitely win a decision, though. Like, he can, because, again, I'll say this again. The judges are not fucking watching. They're not watching. So, of course, he can win a decision, because I'm not sure how Bruno Silva finishes him. Kopp is a fairly tough guy, and he's an underrated grappler. So, I don't see Bruno Silva just pulling a KO out of his ass like he did versus Cody Durden. The only way Bruno Silva wins, which is why you might want to take this shot, is because Manel Kopp plays with his food. He's low volume, and he hasn't shown himself to be a striker. He hasn't shown himself to be a power striker at the UFC level. Like, even when he knocks out Zalgas, it's a 70,000 piece combo where he just swarms them hilariously. Like, it's ridiculous. So the fight's going the distance, and the judges aren't watching. So it's a flyweight fight where I can get like minus 150, minus 160 on it going the distance. Sign me up. Otherwise, no thanks. It's dog or pass.
Brady?
Yeah, dude, there's 2 fighters on this card that are just so untrustworthy. It's insane. One's named is Michael Johnson, who we'll talk about. And then one's named is Manel Kopp. I mean, this guy is kind of a head case. Sometimes he shows up and looks phenomenal. Looks like the next big thing.
I'm seeing a theme here for you, Brady. Are you trying to say something for us?
What?
There's a theme between those 2 guys.
Michael Johnson and Kopp?
Yep.
That they're both untrustworthy?
And
that's the thing. No. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Except their first names both start with the letter M, obviously.
Yes, that is true as well. But yeah, and then sometimes he doesn't show up at all. I mean, that Makaya performance was trash. Even like his debut against Pantoja, like that, he didn't do anything in that fight. Same thing with Nicolau, arguably won, but still, didn't do much in that fight. And then there's other fights he looks really good. Finishing Zalgas is not easy to do. Finished Ode. I don't know what to do with Manel Kopp, but what I do know What I do know is I can't lay minus 360. Could you imagine laying minus 365 on Manel Kopp? Just could you imagine laying minus 365 on Manel Kopp and he goes out there and just stands there for 15 minutes? Shout out to Dogfather. Bruno Silva decision only plus 290. If this goes to decision, it's going to be close. It's going to be competitive. Like Manel Kopp had competitive moments with like Felipe Dos Santos. So I don't know. I don't think I'm touching this fight. I think it either could be extremely fun and exciting if Manel Kopp shows up, but I also feel like it could be the worst fight on the card if he doesn't. So I'm probably staying away from this one as well.
Well, both these guys are counterpunchers is the other thing. They both like doing like, in and out footwork. And when the other guy throws, that's when they respond. And we've seen Silva land huge power shots on counter straights, like against Tyson Nam, against Cody Durden with that beautiful uppercut. But I think I can understand why the bookmakers do favor Kopp here, given, Bruno Silva, that was a super close fight with Durden. And you take a look at like what Cody Durden can look like sometimes. And yeah, wasn't too impressive for him how he started that fight, but it's not how you start. It's how you finish. 35 years old at flyweight and not like necessary flyweight. But yeah, it's not necessarily the best look. So I can understand Manel maybe being favored a bit, but I don't know. I think on a technical skill basis, this is kind of a close matchup. So I like the fight goes. And taking a dog shot, I can't hate it here. Okay. You can put those two things together. I'm just saying I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. Okay, Guru. Now we've got Vitor Bobby Petrino versus Dustin Hanyak Jacoby. Bobby taking a break from coaching on the college football sidelines to come on down and take on the one and only Dustin Jacoby. Now, Petrino, the question here is, what did you learn? What did you learn, young man, in that fight against Anthony Smith? Don't shoot dumb takedowns from
he better be sent to his room for the last 6 months. I'm so mad at him.
Yeah, not good, young man.
You're Brazilian.
But I will say, like, grappling was never necessarily his strong suit, and he turned into a bit of an offensive wrestler. Next thing you know, they're getting, like, really nice calf kicks landed by Anthony Smith. He's like, oh, no, I'm from distance. This is too close. I must go for takedown. And, yeah, he just isn't that good at wrestling yet. Now, Dustin Jacoby, he's not a guy that's really going to make you pay for those types of mistakes. So am I worried if Petrino's like, oh, I don't love the calf kicks and I want to just run in this guy's face and take him down? No, I'm not really as concerned. And Jacoby, he does have really bad takedown defense, but his get-up game is a little bit improved. It's just he's going to give up his back to do so, which means Petrino will get to land those big, like, looping hooks as Jacoby goes to stand up. And, I think that Kudelaba fight, Jacoby's chin just hasn't been the same ever since he survived that 10-8 round and went on to win the next two to go to a draw. This guy's been dropped, knocked out, hurt multiple times. His wrestling and submission defense used to be the issue. Now it's his chin. So could Bobby come out here and land a knockout blow? Sure, at plus 110, it's definitely possible. But I could also see him with 15 minutes of control to a hilarious decision at plus 300. So I don't know. Petrino minus 340. There's been worse things that have happened. But if you need to make like one parlay to rule them off for this card, you could throw him in there as one of the pieces. I feel like that. And yeah, there is levels to this. It's just, I agree. But, Jacoby's, he can't quite talk about levels and lessons at this point. So,
oh, no. Oh, no.
I've been banished.
What happened?
He just banished me?
You're removed. Goodbye. I clicked him off. Fuck him. I don't know. It's just funny. I'll add him back. Come on, TB. We love you.
No, I don't.
Oh, I'm on top of you now. That's so fire.
Yeah, no. We're gonna
fix that.
Go ahead and fix that.
Yeah. Okay. So here it is. Here it is. This is the softest landing for Vitor Petrino that you could ask for, right? When you look at Jacoby now, the one thing he had going for him is that his chin was solid, right? He hadn't been really knocked out in a while. Maybe was it ever? Yeah, once early in his career, but hadn't been knocked out in a while, right? So he gets clobbered by Dominic Reyes. He has now lost 4 of his last 5. It's over. It's it. This is it. And he's going to lose this. He's going to lose this fight because at the end of the day, Dustin Jacoby's a safe volume striker, and so is Vitor Petrino when he's on the feet. And I think Vitor's going to be better. in that respect. And realistically, Jacoby being a kickboxer, Vitor really actually wanting to wrestle, it's over. He's going to grapple him. Jacoby's not submitting him the way that Anthony Smith did. Vitor is going to win. I'm going to parlay probably in this fight Vitor Petrino and over 1.5. Probably take some time, but I don't think that Jacoby's got anything for him.
What about you, Brady? What do you got here?
I really like the over. What did it open up at? Opened up at like minus 155. It's now minus 200. The over 1.5. I like that as a potential parlay piece. And I even don't mind like the fight goes the distance. I think I'm seeing the fight kind of the same way you guys are, in a sense that I think Petrino is going to wrestle here. It's kind of crazy with Petrino. Like, you look outside the UFC, this guy's not wrestling really anybody. He's knocking fools out. But inside the UFC, he's landed at least one takedown in all of his fights. So I think this fight gets extended. I think it could even go the distance. I think that like the round 3 decision for Petrino could be a very good look, because maybe he's able to get Jacoby out of there late. But yeah, I think this fight at the very least gets that 3rd round. So I'm looking at over 2.5 fight goes, or like a Petrino round 3 decision. Not sure what the line is on that, but yeah, I think we can all agree that Petrino should get the job done. If this was a couple years ago and Jacoby was in his prime, at plus 270, probably would have to bet him there. But I just think Jacoby is on a decline, and Petrino, he's getting better and better. He has more ways to win this fight. So I like Petrino to go out there and wrestle, burn some clock, and hit these overs, I think.
Yeah, I like that.
Definitely.
I like that a lot.
100%.
I like that we're in collaboration.
Full agreement, and I don't have to beat up TV again.
Yeah, that was wild.
You yelled at me. You didn't beat me up. There's a big difference.
I beat you up with my words.
No, TB kept his cool also, if you guys want to replay it back. Adrian
you were
Yanez,
never cool, so that's impossible for
Dr. Peppa versus Daniel Soncora Marcos, minus 218 on the Marcos side. I can't tell you how sad I am that I didn't pull the trigger at minus 170. It's just he's a more complete striker, and this is a striker versus striker matchup. And the boxing of Yanez doesn't outweigh. I mean, Marcos can also box, and he's got really good defense. He parries well. He uses kicks really well at all 3 levels. And I don't think he has like the power advantage necessarily, but I mean, I think he's got a better chance of landing the more damaging strikes because he's going to mix it up more. And that doesn't mean he's going to land a leg kick knockout like Jonathan Martinez, but he's going to use the threat of the calf kick enough to keep Yanez from getting off on the type of game that he wants to offensively. And this isn't just a Jonathan Martinez thing. You see it on the regional scene too. It's always been a downfall to Adrian Yanez, and it's because he's one of the best boxers in the UFC. Well, that leaves you open to being heavy on the front foot and eating calf kicks because you're so worried about how you're going to fight with your boxing. Then guys go to try to take him down, and yeah, he's got decent scrambles. He got good jiu-jitsu. It's just, I wouldn't even worry about in this fight. I think Marcos also, his head is like 3 times the size of Yanez's. He's got a coconut, man. And yeah, big time. Listen, it takes one to know one. But Marcos here, I think, he's a safe parlay piece. You can use him.
Yeah, no, I really like Marcos in this spot as well. I think he's a better mixer of the martial arts. I think he's a more varied striker. I think he's shown more durability. I think he has a good chance to outpace Yanez. I think Yanez has shown himself to be impatient at times and will force the action. And I think in somebody in a counter fighter like Marcos, you might actually cause him to get his first UFC finish, right? Oh no, he's got one. Who did he finish? Oliveira.
Simon Oliveira, yeah.
I mean, does that count as a UFC level finish? Or?
No, that should have been like an LFA co-main event. Like that didn't make any fucking sense. So no, but whatever. Yeah. He really has all of his finishes in round 1 or round 2. And majority of them are in round 2. So I could see a little round 2 KO dart throw on Marcos, but yeah. I definitely like Daniel Marcos here, and at minus 218, it's certainly parlayable. I don't want it to get any steeper though. That's like the limit.
The apex, not the UFC apex, but Brady, what do you got here?
Yeah, I like Marcos as well, but to be honest, I liked him more at like what was he like
-70.
like minus 160? Yeah,
Yeah.
minus 170 a couple days ago. Yeah, I liked him better there. Now he's like minus 200, best price I see. I kind of was looking to see what the KO prop would be. I think the KO is super live, not because Marcos is some murderous power punch or anything like that, but I'm kind of worried about the durability of Adrian Yanez. Obviously, getting leg kick knocked out by Jonathan Martinez, it's not the best thing in the world, also not the worst thing in the world, but getting knocked out in the first round by Rob Font, that kind of is like Rob Font's not really knocking out many people early on in the first round. I know Rob Font knocked out like Marlon Moraes, but geez. So him getting flatlined by Rob Font kind of worries me. And Marcus is a guy that can mix it up well to the body, to the head, to the legs, to the head. I could see him maybe hurting Giannis here. But yeah, this KO prop, it's not enticing enough. Plus 200. I don't know if I love that. And then you got to kind of look at the 2-3, but like you mentioned, it's more so coming 1-2. It's just I think I might just stay away here. But yeah, parlay piece potentially for Marcos, but I don't think I'm having any parlays on this card. But yeah, Marcos should get it done. Just
No
kind of
parlays on this card. This is like the parlay card.
whenever I go to a card, I usually do like a big parlay, like just joking around type thing. So
You're gonna go to Hard Rock?
he'll be in that. He'll be in that. But other than that, no big parlays for me.
Nice.
Oh no, Hard Rock's not near Tampa. You won't go to Hard Rock, but you can.
No, it's probably going to put in something tonight.
That makes sense. Oh, you can bet there legally now.
Oh, on just Hard Rock or
The Hard Rock app. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's the only one that has a deal down there,
Okay.
which is incredible.
Hard rock or hard cock? All right,
Hard
we're moving
cock.
on.
Jesus
wait.
Christ, what is wrong with you?
Wait, guys, what are your guys' thoughts on the KO prop?
Oh, on Marcos? I actually kind of like that, to be honest.
What's the number?
It's plus 200. I mean, this guy's not knocking out anybody. I was thinking it'd be a better number, but I don't know.
I hate it.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like plus 300, but that's not.
If it was-
not-
It's because Yanez is really truly untrustworthy at this point. I have no idea how committed he is to fight it. He's so committed to being a coach right now.
Mm.
So the Grateful Dude says there's a Hard Rock casino in Tampa.
Oh,
They must
heck
have built
yeah.
a second one.
There we
I
go.
only know about the one in
Nice.
South Florida.
I know where I'm going.
There we go.
Hell yeah, brother. Put 10 on black or 20 on black for us.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I would say, if anything, I imagine that Marcos is just going to frustrate Yanez. But to your point, that can make him crash forward and eat bigger shots in response. So I think Marcos is a very good counter striker. Hell yeah. Brady is a living legend. And shout out to you, Forrest Daniels. You're awesome as well. You're part of the Chronic Combat conglomerate. So
Without a doubt.
hell yeah.
Shout out
So,
for us.
all right, we're moving on to please asking you to do the right thing. If you enjoyed the Guru yelling at me and me standing my ground, because this is Florida, live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Jesus Christ. But we've got an amazing fun card and we've been having a great time. So please just subscribe, do all the stuff. Leave a comment if you're watching this afterwards. So we've got the native Navajo Sterling versus Toking Tuco Tokos.
Toking.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
You gave him
getting
a good
smoked.
nickname.
Yeah, he's getting smoked. He's triple T. We're triple C. And Navajo, it's like he's like a Native American, but he's just like the native, like the broken native.
Is that not his actual nickname?
It's not. That was a TB nickname.
No, you're
like
lying.
No, it's a TV nickname.
No
You like
way.
it?
I'm looking it up right
Come
now.
on,
That's
Skeeter. You
really
gotta
good.
fight. You gotta
That's
fight,
good.
Skeeter. Come on.
Dude.
Okay. Minus 750 on the native Navajo Sterling.
You have to that's maybe the best nickname you've ever come up with.
It might be because it's so natural. And also he trains with Izzy, who's the broken native.
He's a style bender.
Yeah, I know, but he's got broken native tattoo.
I know, because you literally are obsessed with his nutsack. I understand.
All right. Anyways, minus 750 on Sterling, plus 525 on who I can only imagine is going to be getting smoked, Mr. Toking Tokos. I mean, this guy is just a walking punching bag against anybody that knows what they're doing. He also can't really grapple, right? I mean, he's
getting KO'd. I promise you, he's getting KO'd.
Yeah, so it's not like he can wrestle Sterling. So
what I do, if you're gonna do anything cheeky,
Do it all.
which is not even that cheeky, you probably go over, because Navajo is the type of guy that'll get a KO in any round he wants. But Tuco's the type of guy to get KO'd all the time. When did he get KO'd? His winner is 2 KOs? I don't have it written.
Round one
Yeah.
was won against Ming Yong.
Yeah, that was oh my God. But that's
Bad.
not, I mean, that guy's huge.
Yeah.
Even for late.
I mean,
And then he gets and he gets submitted last fight by Umar C. First round. What are you supposed to do? And then he was a million. He was like a minus 800 favorite versus Zhang. That was really funny.
Yeah, it's bad. And Sterling is just a way better striker. He can fight off the back foot. He can fight off the front foot. He's got the same height, but he's got a 3-inch reach advantage. He's 7 years younger, and Tokos is probably one of those guys that they don't even let see his fourth fight on his contract in the UFC. Right? I mean, Brady, do you pick anything?
Light heavyweight, there's not that much people. They might let him do one more.
One more. Brady, do you have anything on this fight?
I think it goes over.
No, I think Sterling wins by knockout. I'm very confident he wins and wins by knockout. But then the question comes, because you don't want to lay minus 160 on the knockout prop, really. At least I don't. You got to pick a round, right?
2-3. Here's why. New gloves.
Pick a round 2.
It's
right?
It's the new old gloves. I just remembered that. It's the new gloves.
That is true.
That's why. Sorry, Brady.
That's true. So I'm thinking round 2, but then you got to like hold your breath for the first 5 minutes because Togo's is very like this guy is begging to be knocked out the entire time. But Sterling's a guy that will kind of take his time early on, kind of get his reads going. So I think a 2-3 does make sense. More specifically, though, round 2, I'm calling the round 2, which is plus 400 and something. So I might take a poke at that.
Speaking about taking a poke, listen to this. Right? The round 1, round 2 knockout for Navajo is minus 105, but you can get round 2, round 3 KO grouping at plus 220. You know that's where I'm taking my taste.
Oh, Skeeta.
Like it's like he is going to knock him out, but it's not going to happen in round 1. And all you have to do is yell at the TV for 5 minutes and say, "You gotta fight!" Exactly. So that's all you have to do. Now, if you're in the arena, Brady, all you have to do is yell for 5 minutes. You gotta fight. And just hope that you get, it's a ref that lets it carry out or whatever. And then that's it. And then you just hope for him to die. It'll be great.
You just got to be Devin Clark's dad. That's all.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Brady, for knowing exactly the type of energy we needed. All right. It's not me. It's not me, the menace. It's Michael, the menace Johnson versus Mr. Potato Head, Atman Azaitar.
What's in the bag? What's in the box?
Potatoes.
What's in the box?
I hate this fight because how are you supposed to trust Michael Johnson? But also, how are you supposed to pick Atman Azaitar? This sucks. I feel terribly about it. Do you have any further insight, fine gentlemen?
I am not betting this fight, and you can't. And here's why. It's like this is one of those fights that's just like people are gonna, plant their flag in it. And it's just like, you can't fade shit with shit. Like, Michael Johnson will snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. And Atman Azaitar is, 2-2 in 5 fights, started fighting in the UFC in 2019. Like, this has to be the last fight on his contract. Unless he pulls off an incredible knockout of Michael Johnson. I just don't see it. He knocks out Karma Worthy, who, I'm pretty sure gets knocked out by the shower in the morning. And he knocked out Timu Pakaline. I don't even know. I don't even remember who that guy is.
What's he packing?
So,
not potatoes.
It's just not going to happen. I think the fight goes over unless Michael Johnson pulls out like a sub or something. Atman Azaitar. I guess he's been KO'd twice, but it's by Prado and Frivola. I just feel like Prado's even though while he's not great, and he's definitely not great defensively, he's a better striker than Michael Johnson. But maybe I'm crazy for saying that. What do you guys think? Do you think Michael Johnson by finish is the shot? Otherwise, I think if fight goes the distance, personally, I'd rather bet the overs.
I think Michael Johnson by decision in a fight where he gets wobbled one time in round 1 and you hate your life for about 30 seconds. Brady,
that doesn't sound sketchy enough.
Yeah, Brady, what do you? Yeah, we do care. We got Niners minus 2.5. Yeah. Let's go Niners. Brady, what do you got going on?
Yeah, this fight stinks of something, man. I think we could get some shenanigans in this fight. This fight makes no sense. Otman Azaitar, this guy, as we know, has millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. He has no reason to be going out there and fighting. He's on a 2-fight skid. I would not be shocked if Otman Azaitar, instead of a bag of potatoes, dropped off a bag of cash to Michael Johnson. And what does Michael Johnson have to lose? This guy's like 21 and 18. This guy's like almost 500, right? Gives him a bag of cash and says, "Hey, let me get one. I need to get back on track." And Michael Johnson takes a dive. Otman Azaitar KO1 plus 800. I'm probably gonna be betting it. Michael Johnson has no business losing to this bum. Michael Johnson's so much better than this guy, but something stinks. You smell that? Something stinks. Michael Johnson's gonna take a dive here and get finished in the first round brutally, I think. And this fight's so bad.
It's so bad.
But Otman Azaitar KO1 plus 800. I'm probably gonna waste some money on it, but I think in all seriousness, Jonathan should go out there and probably win. I'm thinking decision. I mean, if you can't finish Darius Flowers, I don't know if you can finish anybody. Like, how do you not finish Darius Flowers? You got to try not to finish that guy. So I'm thinking either Johnson decision or Otman KO1. And the Otman KO1's plus 800. That's his money line. He's not winning any other way other than first round knockout.
Well, you got it. You're 100% on 9 KO, right? 9 round 1 KOs of all 9 of them.
And to your point, Brady, Michael Johnson, the reason why he's not finishing anybody is because he's too afraid to overextend and get caught, or overextend and get gassed out because he's been down that road too many times. So now he'll just lose close decisions to Jamie Mullarkey instead of taking the chance to try to actually touch the chin of one Jamie Mullarkey.
Yeah, he couldn't knock out Jamie Mullarkey.
Yeah.
Or exactly. Darius Flowers. Like, what's going on, Michael Johnson?
It's not good.
I don't get it.
Michael Johnson by decision. But if you see, I mean, plus 275, though, I mean, that's actually kind of reasonable.
For what?
I don't know. Michael Johnson by decision, plus 275. That's way better than I thought it was going to be. I don't love it per se, but if $5 just so happened to find its way out of grandma's couch cushions in multiple forms of silver dollars.
No, I'd rather grandma's couch cushion. Grandma's couch cushion in this fight is for Otman round 1.
Yeah, fair enough. I feel you. I'm just asking for trouble. I'm being a menace.
Like I said, I liked Fight Goes the Distance just in general. I don't need to play a side. The judges are not watching. It doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't matter if you're right. They're not fucking watching. It's crazy.
All right. So
Jewish better in the chat.
What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
It could be. El Fenomeno, Joel Alvarez, minus 470. Drakkar, cast iron close, plus 360. I don't know. Maybe it's Drakkar. I can't let you get close because when he got pushed by Jeremy Stevens, that changed the whole trajectory of his career. Whiplash, vertigo symptoms for over a year, doesn't fight in that period of time. Kind of like, I feel like UFC kind of re-signs him and gives him this run of like kind of joke opponents for the type of record and experience that Drakkar Klose has. And this is also coming after the Benil Dariush absolute dismantling in that round 2 obliteration. But Klose, I mean, his strength is schedule in his last few fights. I mean, like Brandon Jenkins and I don't know. I mean, like Joe Selecki, talk about one-dimensional. Like some of these matchups, and then he fights Joaquim Silva in the post-fight interview. He's like, I asked for the easiest matchup. They give me the easiest matchup, and it still was close or something like that. And I'm like, damn, this guy doesn't actually want to like fight anybody. And now this has got to be the last fight in his deal. And they're like, all right, buddy, we gave you Brandon Jenkins and all, but we got Joel Alvarez on the other side, and daddy's hungry for a finish. So you're going to take this fight or get cut, buddy. Joel Alvarez is also going to miss weight by like 4 pounds. If he doesn't make it, it's going to be on purpose, and he's going to absolutely bully the shit out of Drakkar Klose. Knees to the body, kicks all around, elbows. If Klose thinks he can go and get like the Arman Sarukian type of top control and ground and pound, No, thank you, sir. It's going to be Triangle City, arm bars. Drucker Close's grappling is not on the level of Armin Sarukian, okay? Just look at what Dariush was doing to that guy. And Alvarez, that type of level of grappler. So it's going to take an Arman level of grappler to negate him. And that's not what we have here, folks. So Joel Alvarez, by any which way he wants, you could put him with Daniel Marcos and Navajo Sterling for the Guru AIDS special of a lifetime, plus 100 on Bet365, plus the boost, plus the parlay boost. Let's get delicious out here. This is going to be amazing. Guru is curious about the phrasing.
I have no interest in getting delicious with you. None. Zero. I'm out. No good.
You actually just cashed out the parlay.
No. But the real question is, and nobody's talked about this yet, right? Are we going to see back-to-back weeks of 100% finishing streaks go down? Is Joel Alvarez going to get a finish here? He has not won a fight in which he's not gotten a finish. I personally
lost last week. Shavkat.
Correct. Which we predicted on this show, by the way. I personally think that Joel absolutely can get a finish here. I don't think that Drakkar Klose has fought anybody with this level of some grappling. And the only person he did was Joe Selecki, which was going to be an interesting fight. And he did get caught in a choke. He just slammed him down. You're not doing that to Joel Alvarez. There's such a major difference in size and physicality comparing Joaquim Silva and Joe Selecki and even Brandon Jenkins and Rafa Garcia to Joel Alvarez. You just can't. So I actually do like Joel Alvarez by finish. And I believe most of Joel Alvarez's finishes are in round 1 and round 2. Yeah, he has 1 round 3 submission. So I'm going with Joel Alvarez round 1, round 2, which is, hold please, it is plus 100. I am in, baby. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, Brady, that's like 2 we could probably write down there. I like those.
You said Alvarez 1-2 is plus 100?
Correct. FanDuel.
There you go. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think, as sad as it is, I think Jeremy Stephens ruined the career of Drakkar Klose. I truly believe that, because since that push, outside of the Jenkins fight, which come on, since that push, man, it just doesn't look. He doesn't look the same. He's not taking shots the same. I saw a picture of him in his fight kit. He doesn't look the same as usual. Usually he's a little bit more jagged, a little more shredded. Looks like he's kind of coming off the couch here, and you don't want to be coming off the couch against Joe Alvarez. So I did not like how he looked there, and I don't like how he looked in that Silva fight. Joaquim Silva almost finished this guy twice in the 3rd round, and Joaquim Silva is typically a guy that slows down as the fight goes on, but Silva dropped him bad in the 3rd, and then Silva almost submitted him in the 3rd round. I'm watching that fight. I'm like, geez, if Joe Alvarez gets him in these same spots at any point in the fight, Alvarez is finishing that choke. Alvarez is a legit grappler, unlike Joaquim Silva, who's a fake grappler, who has his nickname is Neto BJJ, but has 0 submissions in the UFC, including can't submit Clay Guida. You know, if Joe Alvarez gets on your neck, you're getting tapped out. So I think the minus 450 money line, it's wide, but I think he's going to look minus 450. But what I don't get is the Alvarez, the finish cross, man, like the inside the distance, the 1-2. This guy has 21 wins, 21 finishes. He's not winning decisions. He's very dangerous everywhere. He has power, has a great submission game. I don't get why his finish prop is like minus 130, minus 140. I just don't get that. So I like the inside the distance quite a bit. Could he win his first decision? I guess, but I just think Klose is screwed. On the feet, I think Klose is getting hurt. And if he tries to wrestle, he's getting his neck snatched up. So I think Alvarez finds a finish at some point in this fight here.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
We agree.
See, why not? All right. We're moving on. We got Sean the Sniper Woodson versus Fernando El Valiente Padilla. He's brave, the brave one. Fernando Padilla in this matchup coming in. My question here is, what are the striking exchanges going to look like? Is Woodson going to be the one leading the dance? Can he land anything with significance to keep Padilla off of him? What's the pressure going to look like? Who's going to be working off the front foot here? Is anyone going to be a dusty bitch and shoot a takedown? Like, there's a lot of questions I have, in this matchup. But what I come away with is that Padilla is going to be the one landing the more impactful strikes. He probably doesn't have to worry about a high volume attack of leg kicks and body shots, like in the Kyle Nelson matchup, where 50% of the strikes were body shots. And I mean, we have a sample size of 2 first-round finishes and then 15 minutes of not looking our best versus Kyle Nelson. So, yeah, there's some disappointment and sadness when you compare the statistics of Fernando Padilla to Sean Woodson. But I also asked you the question, like, when's the last time that Sean Woodson fought anybody his own size? And the answer is kind of Julian Erosa. Matched his size, matched his reach almost, dealt with the pace, the early pressure, and all the trouble. And next thing you know, Woodson starts melting because this guy is staying on him, keeps throwing heavy, and then Woodson starts getting a bit tired and desperate. I mean, he's not like, you watch a guy like Jamal Emmers do what you're supposed to do versus a guy like Dennis Bazookia. Sean Woodson did not do what he was supposed to do versus a guy like Dennis Bazookia. You're not supposed to land 100-something strikes and rack up a decision. You're supposed to put a guy like that away. And Sean Woodson just doesn't really do that to anybody ever. Padilla, he's got all the finishing upside. He's got the power, and he can match the size and the output of Woodson here. I don't think he's the more technical striker, but he's going to be putting on the pressure, and he's going to be giving Woodson a lot of problems here. I got Padilla as the dog shot. I got 2 units, and I'm feeling good. I don't know if he finishes it. Maybe he gets his first decision win. But either way, I just think the judges are going to appreciate the type of things that he's doing more. Like, why would Jordan get a win on one of the scorecards? It's like Woodson just can't separate against anybody that knows what they're doing.
So I was very curious, and I might be even putting me on him right now. I was really curious where Fernando Padilla has been training. Do you know, TV?
So the last that I thought I knew was Extreme.
No, he's at Team Oyama.
Oh.
How do we feel about Team Oyama?
I don't necessarily love it, but at the same time, that was something I brought up in a previous matchup for him, and it just didn't seem to really matter. So
I just don't love like necessarily who he's training with in that respect. And then who is Sean Woodson training with, right? Is he still, because he's from St. Louis, so where's he been training? Not at Glory, obviously. That's a long time ago.
That's honestly a good question.
See him in the gym here with people I don't recognize at all.
I don't love it. Well, Brady, do you have any insight on this? Do you have any of these answers?
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know where Woodson's training.
Don't
Who are
love
the
it.
guys in his
Not
corner?
sure.
Jordan Dowdy. Yeah, I don't know any of these guys. Mob Jitsu.
Well, I mean, what do you think happens in the fight, though, Guru? You haven't really given us a breakdown.
Wolves Den training. Yeah, I think you made a lot of excellent points, dude. I just think that this fight's gonna probably take place from distance over time. Sean Woodson absolutely has not fought anybody his own size. The only person that was even close was like Alex Caceres and Julian Erosa. Like you said, Julian Erosa chokes him out round 3. Alex Caceres didn't fucking do anything that entire fight. Fernando Padilla is gonna try to knock his block off and try to win a fight. Submitting Luis Pajuelo, like, I'm not exactly impressed. So I don't know. Woodson has a lot more MMA experience and a lot more UFC experience, and that is troublesome to me. Well, actually, he doesn't have more MMA experience, but he has more UFC experience, and that's what's troublesome to me. Because, it's a problem. But I do think that Woodson's been knocked down twice in the UFC, so I do think that Fernando Padilla's power could make all the difference.
Thunderdome.
Yeah, I don't like that. So give me somebody with at least a decent camp.
Brady?
Yeah, I like Padilla here a decent amount. TB brought up some good points. Like, anytime Woodson's fought somebody that can match the length, the reach, he's struggled. Like, let's not forget that Luis Saldana fight, which was just a horrible look. I mean, Luis Saldana basically finished Sean Woodson if he wasn't a complete idiot. He dropped him twice instead of going for the finish, and the ref was about to stop the fight. Instead of going for the finish, he kneed him illegally. on the ground, lost a point, and then he ended up gassing out. But he had the first round knockout right then and there. Luis Saldana. This guy could have knocked out Woodson in the first round. And then, yeah, the Julian Erosa fight. Rosa basically breaks him, takes him down the third round, and gets that Darce choke. So those are the two guys that can kind of match that length, that reach. And I think Padilla can as well. On the feet, yeah, Sean Woodson's definitely the better striker, more technical striker. Love the boxing, the volume, but the dude has no power, zero power, which is weird because the dude's fought at like heavyweight before in the past. But yeah, no power. Padilla has all the power. And then Padilla is also a very good grappler. I think he's a black belt in BJJ. This guy has 9 subs on his record. If this fight hits the ground at any point, whether he's on top, bottom, anything, this guy's no joke on the ground whatsoever. So I feel like on the feet, Woodson's the minute winner, but Padilla has all the power. I think he's the moment winner. And I could see it like a club and sub here. I could see him hurting Woodson on the feet, Woodson shooting in and getting his neck snatched up. So I think Padilla, and I think the money line, think about the money line. I think it's interesting, but if this fight does go the distance, like Sean Woodson is very good at winning decisions. I think he's like 8-0 in decisions, whereas Padilla, he's like 2-5, not that great. So I actually got a little bit greedy. I took Padilla inside the distance at like plus 380. I think if he's winning this fight, he's finding that finish, he's getting that knockout, he's getting that sub. And then I also like the finish only for Padilla, which has been smashed by the entire community. I think it's like minus 205 now. But yeah, I think Padilla's very live to do some damage here and potentially get a finish. Yep.
I love it. I love it. Great analysis. Me and Brady on the same side. Guru also not yelling at me for this one. So we're doing great. Padilla, City. And if you're telling me the finish is plus 380, I already got 2 units Padilla. If you think I'm not adding 0.5 more to win another like 2 units, I mean, come on.
Yeah, what price do we get? Plus 140?
Whatever it is, hot, sexual, all of it.
Jesus.
I will take it. Miles Chapo Johns versus Felipe Jungle Boy Lima. I promise that's his own nickname. I didn't do this. Felipe chose it himself. And Miles Chapo Johns, man, plus 195 versus Lima minus 238. Very interested in what my friends are thinking here. In fact, Brady, do you have any analysis on this fight before we get into it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, this line, it just seems very wide. You know, Lima, he came into his the UFC debut on short notice, looked good. He was an underdog. He ended up beating Muhammad Naimov, but went back and watched that fight. Wasn't that impressed. Like the first 2 rounds were close. They were competitive. Not a ton went on. And then in the third round, he gets on Naimov's neck, and Naimov just basically quits in there. It was one of the biggest quit jobs I think I've ever seen. Didn't even try to fight the hands. Literally let him choke him. And, you know, Miles Johns, I've never been high on Miles Johns. I typically like to bet against the guy. But the fact of the matter is this guy, he's good. He's good. He's a great minute winner. And he's kind of a weasel. This guy has like almost a 70% striking defense. He's very hard to hit. He's very hard to take down. He's very hard to win minutes against. So minute for minute, I think this fight's going to be very close. I do think Lima has some finish upside here down the stretch. We saw Miles Johns broken by Castaneda. But if this fight goes 15, I just don't see in what world Lima's looking minus 240 here. So haven't bet anything yet. I was kind of looking at the Johns decision only at plus 215. It takes out that finish because I think if Johns loses, it is a finish potentially. But if this fight goes 15 minutes, I kind of see it being 50-50 just because Miles Johns is so hard to win minutes against. He's so hard to look good against with that elite striking defense and that really good takedown defense, that wrestling background as well. So I think we have a close fight on our hands as long as the durability of Johns holds up over 15.
Guru?
Yeah, I'm taking a dog shot here on Miles Johns. I'm somebody who took the dog shot on Felipe Lima in his UFC debut. I'm not exactly sure why somebody like Lima, who is more of a career 135er, I understand why you take the short notice fight and you come in at 145. But I'm not exactly sure why he's staying. And Miles Johns, I understand, is not cutting the weight, probably because he had just cut the weight versus the Cody Garbrandt fight, and that fight fell through. So, maybe a month later here, he gets a decent booking. What I see from Felipe Lima, while he's a well-rounded striker and just a well-rounded fighter as well, and just a very exciting fighter, I've seen him be way too comfortable to play off his back. And he doesn't necessarily have great takedown defense. So, like, he's going to scramble. He's going to try to roll through. I'm not sure that Miles Johns is somebody that you're going to submit. He's not, and he's certainly not going to be submitted in the way that Lima just did versus Naimov. Interestingly enough, obviously Miles Johns has been submitted round 3 versus Castaneda, but I just think that that's a different level of striking pace than Lima's going to put on. So I'm going to take I don't want anything under plus 200, just so we're clear. So plus 195, I'm not interested. But on FanDuel, you can get his money line plus 210. So that is where I am interested, or at least more interested.
You're a sick fuck, but I appreciate
Why?
it. No, I don't know. Just the little details. Just it's funny.
I want him to. If I'm not getting 2-1, I'm not interested. Why is that? Like, if I have a boundary, if I had draw a line, why is that not okay?
I'll respect your boundaries. Plus 195 on Miles Chapo Johns is egregious, and it must be addressed by using our money. So I will be placing a bet on Miles Johns. I just think, like you guys so beautifully touched on, feel like I usually get out in front of some of these fights and I take all the fun. But it's fun to hear that you guys are also leaning towards that big. It's got to be 2-1 dog, but I'm glad you guys are leaning to it.
It's a dog or pass fight, in my opinion. It's not. There's not. It's not. It's very simple in that respect. Like, he needs a finish, and while he certainly can get it, I'm just not convinced he does. He's somebody that with 7 career finishes and 6 career decisions. Why am I so sure that he's going to get a finish here when it took till round 3 versus Naimov, who then quit? Like, no way. And again, coming from somebody who picked him last fight. I like what I see in his skill set, but at this price, there's no way.
Yeah, Johns has all the experience in the UFC. Miranda, Fear the Maverick, something, her and John McCain run deep. They're both Mavericks. And then Jamie Lynn, the original Sin Horth. If you found yourself betting on Jamie Lynn in any of her UFC fights so far, you probably committed the original sin. It's like all split decisions. It's all super close. It's all disgusting. And I mean, I don't know how you get to minus 600 Maverick and feel good about it. But at the end of the day, I mean, she probably wins. It's like 85% that she's winning by decision. So, I mean, Maverick by decision, well, you can go ahead and get that for minus 280. I mean, oh my God, I hate it. So, yeah, the only other way I could see it going is Maverick by sub or Jamie Lynn pulling off the decision of a lifetime, stuffing takedowns, landing enough to keep Maverick at bay, and just not letting the top time happen. But then you see that Jamie Lynn's given up takedowns in every single UFC fight so far. So why not Miranda? I don't see the answer why not. So she's the pick. If you want to get cheeky, submission plus 500. And, call it a day. I think it's by decision, though.
You're pretty much on it, man. I just don't really see much from Horth. I mean, she's somebody that goes tooth and nail with Veronica freaking Hardy. When you talk about,
God, and look at those teeth. I mean, geez, it's a goblin.
When you, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but all right. When
she went tooth and nail, you said. So I was just thinking about her.
Jesus. All right, fair enough.
I'm sorry.
At least now I understand why.
Not a great reason.
I just don't really see it. Jamie Lynn, who needed the grappling versus Veronica Hardy to even get anything going, who looks terrible in her last fight, gets it done, but it's just a sketchy grind them out again decision versus Ivana Petrovic, right? And again, these judges are not watching. They're not watching. So the only thing you could possibly play on this fight in my mind is split decision at plus 300 because it's going the distance. And the bet is, what are the odds that one of the judges is not watching? And I bet you that those odds are much better than plus 300. So I'm going to take the shot at on the split decision there.
Brady?
Yeah, I don't think I'm betting this fight at all, but if I were to, it would be a shot on Maverick to win by sub at plus 600, I see.
Yeah,
Just
that's
because
cool too.
she did recently get her black belt. If she's paying off this price tag, you got to imagine she's going to do it pretty dominantly on the ground. So I do think, like, at the very least, she's going to probably attempt some submissions. And to be honest, like, you should be finishing somebody like Jamie Lynn Horth. Like, you fought like Aaron Blanchfield in the past. You fought Macy Barber in the past. You fought some very good fighters where I just don't think Horth is on, a lot of these fighters' levels. So I think Maverick wins this fight convincingly, probably by decision. But like you said, the decision prop's just the worst. I think I have not seen a decision prop this bad in a very, very long time. So if anything, I'm sprinkling the sub and hoping she gets her out of there. But yeah, probably decision.
I love it. All right, moving on. We got Dangerous Davy Grant versus Ramon the Savage Tavares. This should be a banger. I mean, this fight's going to be incredible, especially in the first round when Ramon's at his most dangerous. It's just in all the time after the first round. I think that's where Davy does what Davy does here, man. I mean, Ramon, not the best striking defense. He's really he gets in a bit of danger on his own end. And Grant, for all of his troubles and, issues with submission defense or, getting knocked down here or there, I mean, the guy has never been knocked out. So, and he's been in some wars. And when he gets landed on, the type of counters that he returns with are the type of strikes that you typically don't see coming, looping counters thrown from the hip. And that's why he's landing these sick knockouts. And I think the party continues, man, whether it's Grant putting on a clinic over 2 and 3 with the volume or him landing a knockout. I mean, we took him at plus 120. So if you guys aren't following us on Pickett, you're making a mistake because week after week, we're giving you some solid, beating a little CLV. And then obviously we have our little couch cushion plays, what do we do? Last week, it was a beautiful round 2, round 3 submission prop on the one and only, the other Maverick, Michael Chiesa. So maybe we have a round 2, round 3 on the other Maverick, Miranda.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Well,
sorry.
Not only did we hit round 2, round 3 sub on Michael Chiesa, but we hit round 2, round 3, round 4 sub on Alexandre Pantoja.
Yes, that's correct. So is it time for a round 2, round 3 KO for Davy Grant? Or do you just, if you were following us already, you got the plus money, but if not, now you got decisions to make. I think there's still value. You got the UFC veteran. He lands plenty volume. He lands at a positive striking differential. He's got a positive knockdown differential. And, I think that even though Tavares, he's going to look faster in the early going, I think it's going to be, to Davy's advantage.
To me, this is a classic Dana White Contender Series fade spot. I mean, Davy Grant has so much fight experience, UFC experience, more distance going more experience going the distance. And I honestly like the fact that Davy Grant is probably going to be better on the ground as well. So we got him at plus money, like you said, TB. I certainly lean that way. Much higher level competition for Davy Grant. And Ramon Tavares, while he might be new to the UFC and new to you guys, he's not exactly new to the earth. It's not like he's some young guy. He's 31 as well. So 31 versus 39. I mean, it's not I don't know. He's basically, yeah. I'm not sold on Ramon Tavares. I don't hate anybody for, taking him if that's who it is, but I haven't necessarily heard anybody taking him either. He loses versus City, getting knocked out round 1. And then he wins versus City in a split where he didn't fucking win. And City just got lit up by Garrett Armfield. Like, he's not great. So what does that say here? I like Davy Grant. What do you like, Mr. Brady?
Yeah, I have 5 units on Ramon Tavares. No, nothing here, man. I mean, the one spot I am kind of looking at and would be I think the fight ends by knockout at plus 150, solid, because I do think Tavares is very chinny. This guy's been knocked out twice, and yeah, the City fight on the Contender Series was an early stoppage, but still getting dropped that early by City, like, that's not a good look. also has another knockout loss prior to that as well. And Davy Grant hits like a truck. And quite frankly, Tavares hits like a truck. I went and watched all of Tavares' fights, and he's getting at least one knockdown in the majority of those. So I think these two are going to stand and bang here. I think somebody probably goes out. The only thing holding me back is these trash gloves, big cage. So maybe it goes the distance, but fight ends by knockout at plus 150 is kind of something I had circled. And then on Bet Online on Monday, they opened up Davy Grant by knockout at like plus 600, which I thought was crazy. But it looks like on like FanDuel, DraftKings, and all that, it's only like plus 300 and something. So that Davy Grant early knockout prop got smashed, and I thought that was a great look, but no longer there, and I didn't hop on it. So I might just sit back and watch this one. I think it's one of the better fights of the card, to be honest. I think these guys are going to throw down.
All right. I love it. I like that we're seem to be interested in similar things, but I like that KO angle too. All right. We made it. It's Josephine Knudsen Thunder.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute.
What am I waiting?
Not only is this the curtain jerker, the final fight, the first fight to open the card, but the final fight that we break down. But it's the final fight that we break down for the year, brother.
Wow, this is sadness.
2024 to a close. What a year. We will do our year in review pod. But first, we break down this fight. Go ahead, DB.
It's a beautiful thing when you have Piera La Fiera Rodriguez at plus 195 coming off of a disqualification loss. Isn't she lovely? No, I mean, it's Josephine Knudsen here, minus 238. She'll probably be a parlay piece with someone else earlier on the card here. You know, get your sadness out of the way early if someone's going to screw it over. But she should be the way cleaner striker. And Piera, like, she's just not convincing in her takedowns and top game. And Knudsen, well, I think like Pilastri is a way better striker and a better jiu-jitsu practitioner, where Rodriguez is just kind of disappointing in those aspects on the finer details. I think Knudsen should be good enough to stuff the takedowns, and she's the way better striker here. I think she's got the way better camp, and she's never headbutted someone immediately after the ref told her not to. So I trust the fight IQ like 10 times more here. So Josephine, come on down. You're the next contestant on the parlay is right. Minus 238. Why don't you get on in there?
Yeah, I can't imagine that they really like Piera Rodriguez anymore. I'm surprised she even still has a job. Like the fact that you get disqualified at this level for headbutting somebody and they bring you back for another fight. But again, maybe they're just going to use her as cannon fodder to Josephine Knudsen here, continue to stack that undefeated record. So yeah, Josephine Knudsen by decision. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Big Bad Brady.
Yeah, not much to say. I agree 100%. Knudsen decision. Love the volume. I think on the feed it's one-way traffic. I think she's going to kind of punch her face off over 15 minutes. Knudsen, I don't think, is finishing anybody ever. But yeah, I just think skill for skill, Knudsen's is the real deal, and I think she's better here. Only concern would be if Rodriguez is able to get takedowns. Knudsen seems to get stuck on her back at times. But yeah, if she can stuff the takedowns here, I think she's going to put a pace and win this fight by decision as well. And I don't mind the decision in like a parlay as well.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. All right, guys. Well, so ends the season number 4 of Chronic Combat Conversations. 742 of you sickos subscribe to the channel. And really hoping, maybe we can cross that 1,000 barrier next year. I will say we're not necessarily the most successful in our advertising, in the way we optimize our videos on YouTube. We don't post a ton of content. But what we do is we show up every damn week over the last 4 years to give you a full card breakdown for every single fight night and pay-per-view event. We give you an amazing award show and like a year in review. And we have a good time every week, even if the guru is a little mean now and then. I know it's out of love and that he just can't help but be excited to have a great time.
Well, what else do we bring, TB? We bring fantastic guests. each
do.
and every week as well.
Yes. And shout out to Brady for closing out the year right with us. It wouldn't be, wouldn't be proper otherwise. We've had an absolutely amazing time going on, doing the best bet show on fight day.
That's been
10,
awesome.
10 bets per card, 10 cards over the year. Guru has done an absolutely amazing job, and he's going for the gold.
How many units am I up this year, Brady, on your show?
I think like almost 35, 36.
36 units. Was that including last week?
Oh,
I have to count it, man. It might be like
I
40
think it's
something.
more.
I think it might be
now.
more
Right now.
But,
there.
I mean, that's the amazing part. Is
Oh,
like,
never mind.
Like,
51, man.
Let's
I'm up
51
51 units. And how much? And what's his face is up? How many?
62.
62. I'm in second place against 10 of the top cappers on the entirety of YouTube. And again, I said this to Brady last week. I'll say it again for our show here. I mean, thank you so much, Brady, for letting us be on your show.
No problem.
To me, man, it changed the way that I handicap fights. I look much harder now. And the way that I look is just different because I'm looking for very specific value in the way that I think a fight's going to play out. And up 51 fucking units. I'm not up that many units on BetMMA. I'm up that many units on Pickett this year. But I mean, my God, I mean, that's really good. It's helped me really filter out the things that I want and avoid the things I don't. So I really appreciate that, Brady.
Heck yeah. Killing it, dude.
Oh, yes.
TB, not so much, but I think he's like negative or break even or something.
Yeah,
All right.
he's 7th place, but not bad.
7th place. All right, we like him.
All right.
He's going to do better next year. Guys, seriously, all of you, Brady, seriously, thanks so much for being here, man. You're the man. Everybody, thanks so much for being here tonight and all year. We really appreciate your support. Please check our socials. We're going to announce when we're going to do the year in review pod. So be ready for that. We probably do that the first week of January. And everybody, listen, have a very safe, happy, healthy Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year. And just take care. Let's make some money. You can follow my unbelievable co-host, TB Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Pickett, Tapology, and BetMMA. And you can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Instagram, Pickett, Verdict, Tapology, and BetMMA. Seriously, everybody, take care, and we will see you for a year in review and in the new year. See you, baby. Let's get it.